You are listening and watching to a very special podcast. Let us continue where we left off, shall we? Let's. So, it seemed as if this whole presentation wasn't bad enough that was coming to a head. Benjamin Hallows was now even more suspicious of the agents of Evermore, ever since he came across Tilda Oxford. Well, she came across his lab, his house, his so-called lair. So, the day came of the presentation. People were seated, but there were only a few, and some of them actually looked a bit bored. Only someone attended, a fresh face, someone who tried to keep a smile, but she knew something was very unnerving and suspicious. It was Raven Maccabee. Once Ben managed to do the demonstration, something went wrong and the creature did not come to life, as promised. This made Benjamin panicked. Everyone looked a bit worried. However, Joseph Dirge had a bit of a smirk on his face, as if satisfied. Raven was terrified to see. Just then, as Ben felt like he was going to give up, he saw a young girl in white looking over at the monster. Then she said to Ben, "Don't worry," she said. "He's asleep. I'll wake him up." Then she tapped the monster, and suddenly the monster came back to life. Ben was ecstatic, but something went wrong. The monster went out of control and began attacking the spectators. Everyone in the room rushed away, but only Raven stayed, and she was scared. Taylor came over to her, comfort her, but Raven was confused. She didn't know what the heck to expect from all this. Ben was trying to defend himself from the monster. However, there was a bit of shadows and spirits, and the creature was saying words like, "Smells nice." Just then a flash managed to cut down the monster, and a voice said, "Kafuko, take it down, now!" Ben looked over to see a pink-haired girl say, "Okay, Mr. Monster. I believe it's time for you to suffer fear. Enough of this!" she cried out and slashed at the monster with the own corrupt spirits. The monster was overwhelmed by the corrupted spirits, and the monster was taken down. Ben was terrified. In the midst, he saw Silver. Silver was terrified and ran, but Ben went after her. "Please, I mean no harm. Please, I want to help you," he cried out. But it was too late. He lost sight of her. She was gone. However, during that time, Ben was even more frustrated. "Again, why do I keep seeing her? Why?" He was really frustrated. Back at his own mansion by the seaside, he was having a bit of a fit. "Twice! I see that girl twice today. In 2 days, I saw her twice. And now, why is she fascinating in me? I don't understand. I really don't." Beauty began to feel jealous. "You mean Silver Eden? She's one of the most vulnerable that you would ever meet," she said. "How do you know?" "I saw it in the infestations I was feasting on. On the news, there is an exterminator, but now they gave me a name. It's the Annihilator." Just great. Just because I'm hungry for infestations, I'm not trying to rid the world of anything.
You can eat? You're eating my creations?
Ben exclaimed. I was hungry.
Oh, you selfish girl.
Don't you dare. Don't you dare blame me for this, Beauty warned.
Those are my creations. You know better.
I know, but what was I supposed to eat? I can't eat human flesh.
Oh, you can't? You can't eat human flesh. Oh, that is really ecstatic. Why not eat from my arm? That would be something.
Ben snapped. His arm was right near his crotch, but he looked over and said,
maybe I do look tasty.
Beauty said, I'm not eating from your arm, so forget it.
Really? I believe human flesh would have been more suitable, but nevertheless, well.
He was a bit frustrated. It wasn't until Isabel came over. She knelt down towards him as he was seated there, frustrated. Ben, are you mad at me?
I'm quite frustrated. You really are an upsetting young lady. How could you do that?
I didn't mean to. I wasn't trying to be selfish, Ben. I guess I couldn't control myself.
Well, you need to control yourself better. There's going to be a manhunt with my head on it. And also not just mine, but Taylor's as well.
Isabel was crouched down. She looked upset. I'm sorry. All of a sudden, Ben felt sorry, but his arm was draped towards his crotch. That's when Isabel took it and said, I'll make it up to you.
You don't have to,
Ben said. No, Before she could say anything else, she just bit into the arm. Ben was startled by this. However, instead of throwing up like she thought she would, Isabel began gnawing at it, and she was making these weird, girlish sounds. Then she broke away. God. Oh my God. You taste so briny, but it's tasted so good, she said. I'm sorry. I just couldn't help it. Oh God. Ben looked at the bite mark. He smiled and said,
Oh, so I taste sweet. My skin feels very sweet to you. I'm happy you liked it. It's all right. You don't have to be a mindless monster. You're still you, and I appreciate you,
he said. Then he managed to put an arm around her waist. Beauty put her arms around his neck, and she said, Oh, Ben, I really do admire you. Out of all the human flesh I tried to taste, all of them taste so disgusting. And they were criminals, so I didn't want to hurt children. I know you wouldn't approve of it.
I know.
Ben, how come I can't remember anything? How come I want to remember?
You will. I promise you.
Will I? Beauty asked.
You will. It'll come to you in time. Don't pressure yourself. But I have to know. Why am I like this? Who am I? And why can't I remember anything? Mind you, Ben said, pulling away. You were at that cliff for a long time in the tunnels. I'm surprised you managed to survive.
It wasn't easy. All I could do was just sleep. I had no knowledge I was falling into the subconscious of my own psychic mind.
Beauty said.
I only know my wits, and also I know when there's trouble. I just have to know the truth. Where did I come from? Who am I? Why was I even brought to this place? What is the secret to DWC and the Valkyries and everything? I've been hearing a lot about it, but I have no idea what it means. Am I really not a monster? Am I some sort of angel? Or a demon? Or what if I'm just a lost soul from the depths of hell? Maybe I'm a beauty from the underworld. I don't know.
Isabel said. She was clutching at her hair. Ben and Taylor could stare at her with pity on their faces. What am I? Who am I? Suddenly, Ben brushed his fingers on her cheek and said, "You are my greatest creation, and someone I can truly rely on." Then he turned to Taylor, "And that goes for you too, both of you." He picked up Isabel from the ground. Then he put a hand on Taylor's shoulder and smiled, saying, "Both of you are my greatest creations of all time." Beauty was amused.
Oh, are we? You never even made us out of artificial matter.
No, but I must say, you are truly an inspiring young maiden.
Isn't that touching? Don't worry, we got more coming your way. Thank you so much for listening and watching. I'll see you next time.